They said Africa wasn't ready for innovation. Burkina Faso is proving them wrong, one military-grade eco-city at a time. In this video, we are going to look at Traore City, Africa's first eco-military city rising from the sands of Burkina Faso. Conceived by coup leader Captain Ibrahim Traore, this city promises security, sovereignty, and sustainability. With 50,000 homes, fortified buildings, clean energy, and local production, it's an audacious response to terrorism and foreign dependency. But it's also triggering controversy, with accusations of authoritarianism and economic risks. This video unpacks the ambition behind Traore City and why it could reshape geopolitics across West Africa. Let's jump in. To understand Traore City, you first need to appreciate what Burkina Faso is confronting. Nearly half of the country's territory remains under jihadist control, and over 2 million people were displaced as of early 2025. That's massive upheaval. On top of crippling dependence on foreign aid, a condition many African nations have struggled with for decades. Captain Ibrahim Traore rode into power late in 2022, promising a break from this vulnerable status quo. He aimed for economic sovereignty, regional self-reliance, and a fortified defense strategy. Traore City isn't just another mega-project, it's a powerful symbol. It signals a shift in mindset across the Sahel region, the idea that resilient, self-sustaining communities can stand up to insurgents and sidestep Western influence. This isn't nostalgia or isolationism, it's calculated strategic planning. Burkina Faso is staking a claim on its future, one where infrastructure supports both life and defense, and where local control overrides external dependency. To understand where this new city is coming from, we need to rewind to the year 2022. See, in September 2022, 34-year-old Captain Ibrahim Traore led a bold military coup that ousted Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba. Damiba had come under heavy criticism for his inability to curb the growing wave of jihadist violence and for presiding over a declining economy. In contrast, Traore presented himself as a determined nationalist and reformer, committed to reclaiming control over Burkina Faso's future across sectors like defense, governance, and agriculture. Since seizing power, Traore has taken a firm anti-imperialist stance. He expelled French troops from the country, signaling a sharp break from colonial-era influence, and began building strategic alliances with powers such as Russia and China. On the economic front, he introduced reforms aimed at asserting national ownership over the country's vast mining resources and scaling up mechanized farming to boost local food production. He has also bolstered national security by acquiring advanced military equipment, including Turkish drones and Russian-made hardware, to outmaneuver insurgents. Traore's mission is clear: restore sovereignty, ignite domestic growth, and free Burkina Faso from foreign control and chronic instability. Traore City was officially unveiled in April 2025, marking a bold and ambitious chapter in Burkina Faso's national development strategy. Designed to accommodate approximately 50,000 households, this city isn't just another new town. It represents a visionary blend of modern urban living and national defense. With metro-style public transportation, expansive green spaces, and eco-conscious infrastructure, Traore City is crafted to support daily civilian life while maintaining a constant state of military readiness. In the words of President Ibrahim Traore, the city stands as a symbol of our nation's future, where innovation, community, and quality of life go hand in hand. This vision is brought to life through a unique dual-use design, where each component serves both civilian and strategic military purposes. Security is embedded at the core of its layout. Enclaves feature controlled entry points, with rapid response roads that facilitate swift troop deployment in case of emergencies. Public buildings are reinforced, built to withstand potential attacks, and double as secure gathering points or command hubs during crises. At the heart of it all is a strong sense of community: solar-powered streetlights, schools, parks, and public services that uplift civilian life. Traore City redefines fortification, not with walls, but with innovation grounded in 21st century green principles. Now I think it's time to look at the eco-military innovation of this Traore City. Firstly, it will have solar power, and lots of it. See, Burkina Faso has seen dramatic growth in solar capacity, doubling from 90 megawatts in 2022 to 180 megawatts by 2023. Major solar farms include Kodeni, 38 megawatts, Pa, 30 megawatts, Zena, 26.6 megawatts, and Nagreongo, 30 megawatts, with a 25 megawatt plus facility at Donson planned by 2026, complete with battery storage. Solar has come to power roughly 21% of the national grid already, and the goal is 35% by 2030. In 2024, solar installations surged 129%, a sign that Burkina Faso is betting on clean energy infrastructure for long-term stability. Traore City builds on this foundation using solar microgrids, rooftop panels, and energy-efficient street lighting. The message is clear: energy independence isn't just environmental, it's strategic. Also, the city will use local materials and manufacturing. A city built from local resources is essential for durability and economic value. Traore City relies on bricks and clay produced in Kosoto, supporting a calcined clay plant. Such measures employ local labor, strengthen industry, and reduce reliance on imported materials. Every brick laid becomes a statement of local empowerment. There shall also be green infrastructure integration in this city. Right now, sustainable systems are being integrated into urban planning. New sanitation networks and solar streetlights have already been rolled out in cities like Bobo Dioulasso as of April 2025. Traore City will expand these efforts on a larger scale. New water and waste treatment centers, solar-powered public lighting, dedicated bike lanes, and green corridors. The result? A healthier urban environment that sustains life, not just defends it. And that's not all. Burkina Faso has been on fire lately. See, in 2024 alone, Burkina Faso produced nearly 6 million tons of cereals thanks to tractor distribution, irrigation pumps, and seed subsidies. Farming is no longer small-scale subsistence. It's becoming a driver of national output. Rather than exporting raw materials, local factories now refine gold and process tomatoes domestically, meaning more jobs, greater skill transfer, and reduced reliance on global markets. Every product manufactured at home becomes an anchor for economic resilience. Since July 2024, over 1,000 free homes have been built for internally displaced families around Ouagadougou. It's a model of humanitarian response fused with civic planning, a city built not on speculation but on healing. Traore has implemented austerity measures, cutting ministerial salaries, raising civil servant wages, rejecting IMF or World Bank loans, and working to reduce local debt. These policies are anchored in fiscal discipline aimed at prioritizing national control and sustainable budgeting. And that's not all. In early 2023, Burkina Faso expelled French forces, signifying a pivot toward military autonomy. Russian and Chinese partnerships have since stepped into the security and infrastructure space. Also, in July 2024, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger formed the AES, a bloc dedicated to pooling military assets, coordinating defenses, and supporting joint operations. Traore City is envisioned as an urban anchor within this alliance, a fortified hub that supports broader regional resilience. Beyond infrastructure, security forces have acquired Bayraktar drones and Russian weaponry. Russian military training and support were officially pledged in April 2025 as part of a broader commitment to Sahel stability. Let's look at challenges and criticisms of this Traore City. As visionary as Traore City sounds, it's not without serious roadblocks. Despite extensive military investment and new alliances, Burkina Faso still struggles with deep-rooted insecurity. In 2023 alone, nearly 2,000 people were killed in over 250 jihadist attacks, making Burkina Faso the most terrorism-impacted country globally, according to the 2024 Global Terrorism Index. Large swaths of the country remain under insurgent control, making it incredibly difficult to secure construction zones, deliver materials, and ensure civilian safety. Even the areas under government control face sporadic violence and threats, making day-to-day progress unpredictable. Then comes the political climate. Since taking power, Traore has extended transitional rule until at least 2029, drawing criticism from rights groups and international observers. Media crackdowns, asset freezes against opposition voices, and a highly controlled public narrative have raised alarms about rising authoritarianism. While supporters argue these moves are necessary to stabilize the country, critics warn that Burkina Faso could slide into a long-term dictatorship masked as a reformist movement. Economically, there are red flags too. While Traore has pledged fiscal independence and rejected Western loans, several key projects, including the Donsin solar plant, are backed by foreign capital, notably a €45.7 million loan from China. If debt accrues faster than economic output, the country could find itself right back in a cycle of dependency. Moreover, the country's tax system is weak and largely informal, making revenue collection difficult. Even with gold, agriculture, and domestic industry on the rise, the financial infrastructure to support long-term megaprojects like Traore City remains shaky. Human rights organizations have also raised concerns about the growing use of state-sponsored militias, some of which have been linked to extrajudicial killings, forced displacements, and community-level abuses. The rise of vigilante justice in rural areas complicates the government's security narrative. Building a city that symbolizes peace and progress while violence continues in the countryside sends a conflicting message to both citizens and the world. Lastly, political instability continues to haunt the nation. In April 2025, intelligence services reportedly foiled a coup plot connected to external actors from neighboring Côte d'Ivoire aimed at overthrowing Traore. This was just one in a series of attempted or rumored power grabs. It underscores how volatile the political environment remains, casting doubt over the continuity and completion of long-term visions like Traore City. Despite all the obstacles, the idea behind Traore City is stirring conversations far beyond Burkina Faso's borders. Could this be the beginning of a new model of development in Africa, especially in regions torn by war, poverty, and foreign intervention? A model that blends green infrastructure with military utility, sustainability with sovereignty? In some ways, Traore City is a prototype for what could be called eco-military urbanism, where urban planning is deeply informed by defense needs and ecological resilience. Imagine cities where military readiness is not an afterthought, but a built-in feature of every road, building, and power grid, while still being green, livable, and economically viable. It's a revolutionary idea, and in fragile regions of Africa, it may gain traction quickly. The geopolitical implications are equally significant. Traore's decision to align with Russia and China over France and the West marks a major power shift, and he's not alone. Mali and Niger are on similar paths, forming a new Sahelian bloc that's distancing itself from former colonial powers. If successful, this model could undermine long-standing Western influence in the region and pave the way for a multipolar Africa, one where alliances are based on strategic necessity rather than history. But the question remains, can this model truly deliver long-term prosperity, or will it merely serve as a short-term political shield for regimes that resist democratic norms? Some experts argue that investing heavily in defense infrastructure could starve education, health, and social programs, ironically weakening the very resilience these cities aim to build. Others believe that without military control, there can be no peace and no foundation for civic growth. This dilemma, security versus sustainability, is at the core of Traore City's legacy. It's a balancing act. Lean too hard into militarization, and you risk alienating civilians and international partners. Focus too much on aesthetics and green tech, and you may end up with an unguarded utopia. The answer lies somewhere in the middle, but finding it will take exceptional leadership, long-term commitment, and above all, trust from the people Traore claims to serve. Traore City isn't just concrete and solar panels. It's a symbol. A city built from scratch to defy insurgency, dependency, and doubt. It shows what's possible when leadership, innovation, and purpose align. But the path ahead isn't guaranteed. Will it inspire other nations or expose the limits of bold ambition? Only time will tell. What do you think? Is Traore City a visionary leap toward Africa's future, or a risky experiment in authoritarian development? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories shaping Africa and the world.